Hello, neighbor. I apologize for the filth on the back of my door. This used to be one of my kids' rooms, and I never bothered painting the door after they messed it up. Got my iced coffee. It's afternoon, so I can't say good morning, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. I am your host, Mike Miller, and should I give my little who I am in the industry and all that, like Ethan does? 26-year veteran of the comic book industry. I've worked in video games. My claim to fame on comics is doing the the Game of Thrones covers, other Game of Thrones related stuff, and Injustice, #1 digital comic in the world, all around the world, for the better part of its entire run, 5 years about, and a #1 New York Times bestseller. So that's me. That's my Bonity days. Like I said, 26 years. It's been a long run. And now, I am here to entertain you. All right, let's see. Let's go. First of all, let me see if any of you have any questions. I wanted to talk about the Comicsgate things last night, but more or less, how I thought it turned out. I thought it turned out pretty well. Nobody was, throwing fisticuffs or anything. So let me make sure this doesn't make sound. Mute. Right, let me turn off my Facebook so you don't hear that annoying dinging. Where that Doug seemed to get a lot of grief on the chat, I was noticing, and it seems like you guys liked me. You really liked me. So thank you for all the kind comments. Sorry I couldn't answer all those at the time during the stream, because obviously I was. Wow, that when you've got 3,000 people in the chat and it's just going, it's hard to read anything. But yeah, it was a good time. It's good to meet some of those guys. Actually, I think the only, let's see, who was on there? I've talked to Rich once before, actually just on chat. I know Ethan, obviously. Mitch Brightweiser, that was the first time I met him. Actually, I think it was pretty much the first time. Well, Brett Smith, I know, I've talked to, and yeah, everybody else, that was the first time meeting him. So it was kind of a good coming together. Let's see what is going on here. How come I am not my channel live now? I just want. I am not mute me. Mute me. I wonder what the lag is, second-wise. Here, let me do a little test here. Bazinga. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. There's one. Mute me. 1,000. Mute me. I wonder what the lag is, second-wise. Here, let me do a little test here. 12 1,000, 13 1,000. Bazinga. 14-second lag. Okay. Sorry, that was boring. But yeah. So I guess sort of the low point for the show was, in my mind and in a couple people's minds who have pointed out, was the transcript. The transcript. It was, I don't know, it was a little weird. And it just seemed like something that didn't need to be belabored like that. But, it's good to get things ironed out. Some feathers, it seemed to be, were were ruffled a little bit, but I think we're all good guys with even senses of decorum, and so I think it worked out, and I think we're building something here. I think it's a good start. I think we all want the same thing for comics and ultimately for each other. And yeah, it felt like the first meeting of the founding fathers. And I know I hated to get in there and try to prove that I had deserved to be there, but I mean, never mind the word confiscate, I have been fighting this fight for a quarter century almost, and and yeah, I loved Edwin's take on it. It really was not fair. Hi, this is my son Elijah. He's come in to share the space. This is the actual feed, so it's going to be delayed. You're going to come in 14 seconds. There you are. Drama happens. Just think to yourself, what would Edwin do? Edwin would, he'd rub his head and he'd look down at you and he'd say, cooler heads have to prevail here. Yeah, I love that guy's voice. He's like, I swear he should just grow a big old Sam Elliott mustache and buy a cowboy hat. He'd look great kicking back in Hawaii with it. Callaghan took a little personal lesson. Oh man, yeah, Will is one of us. He doesn't have the hey Edwin. I hope you liked my imitation. It is the greatest form of flattery. So aloha to you as well. I didn't even freaking realize you were there. Jeez. Callaghan, Will Callaghan, for those who don't know, is a comics creator. He's a very, very creative guy. I envy his creativity. And he's not like, 20-year Marvel veteran or anything like that. And he got really persnickety about Mitch coming on his Twitter and he just mentioned the word merit, and it's like, thanks, Pam boy, as if it was like somehow targeted towards him because I don't know, he hasn't. I don't know. I honestly can't tell you why he got all freaked out about it, other than to say it's like, yes, we've got over here we've got quote unquote professionals, which is not fair because Will is a professional, but it's like, the Marvel, DC, whatever, the big leagues. All right, it's major leagues versus minor leagues, but even that is sort of, I don't know. I hate trying to categorize all this stuff, and it ends up, yeah, tensions running high, fans very unhappy. I don't want anybody to be unhappy. I want this great big sandbox where everybody gets to build what they want, and everybody who wants to go play with the stuff that the other people build get to go play. Is that so much to ask? And can we do it without freaking throwing sand at each other? I mean, I think we're all grown-ups here. I think I was probably the oldest guy in the room. Maybe I should have taken control and been the dad. It's the nature of the game. It's the nature of children. Children fighting for hierarchy. And Twitter never helps, that is. Yeah, Twitter. It's like a necessary evil. You get on there and you just throw some things against the wall and see what sticks, and then it turns into a great big what's it called? A melee. Twitter is very inflammatory. I felt a disturbance in the force. Yeah, I like doing impressions. Anyone else I could do an impression of? Actually, I think I was just doing my best Sam Elliott. Oh damn! I bet that hurts, don't it? um, let's see what else happened last night that was of note. I got to give my bona fides testimony, which honestly I haven't. I don't talk about that much. I don't like to. It's in the past, and it's I don't know. It's something that irritated me at the time, but it changed the course of my career. I would have just gone on and continued to do JLA and you know, whatever for DC, but instead I ended up, you know, working with the DeBell brothers, and then getting to meet George R. R. Martin and working with him. You know, all things happen for a reason. To those who love God and are called according to His purpose. And so, even when it looks like the storms are coming and the bad guys are chasing you, it's like, hey, maybe they're chasing you so you can make a right turn down this alley and find a pot of gold. It's a similar situation that happened with me. So after years of working with George on the Hedge Knight and the Sworn Sword, and then eventually the Mystery Knight, it was like a 10-year dream of mine to do the Game of Thrones comic. But when the time and the opportunity finally came, I was, you know, George calls me and he's like, hey, you know, do you want to draw the Game of Thrones comics? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been wanting for, you know, since we met, 2001, basically. Because Game of Thrones is my favorite book series, besides the Bible. And someone's already drawn the Bible. And actually, a couple of people have Picture Bible and the Action Bible, and et cetera, et cetera. So what happened is George said, well, the publisher wants a sample page, because even though George was guaranteeing me that it was my gig if I wanted it, the publisher still wanted a sample page. And so I got the script, I sat down and I started drawing it, and I heard this still small voice, and it said, "You're not drawing this book." And I ignored it, and I kept drawing, and I kept hearing it, "You're not drawing this book." And I finished penciling it, and I started inking it, and I ignored it, and I heard it, "You're not drawing this book." And I got 90% done with my sample page, and I heard the voice, and I'm like, fine. And so I gave in. I listened to the voice. I put the page away, and I wrote the editor, and I wrote George an email saying, I'm sorry. I know I'm letting you down, George, but I heard from God, and I can't do it. And George is an atheist, so I was figuring, you know, this is probably going to kill my relationship with him. And I heard nothing back. Nothing for weeks. And so I just assumed the relationship was smoke. And then Nick over at Dynamic Forces calls me, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to do the covers for the Game of Thrones books?" And I'm like, "Yeah, covers I can do. I'm sure." And so I emailed George, and I was like, "Hey, guess what? They want me to do the covers." And he's like, "Who do you think suggested you?" Or who do you think told him to, were his words. So he does not hate me. That's good. Hey, Mike. Hey, Jane Smith. So so, you know, that, oh yeah. So it was my dream, right? For 10 years, it was my dream. I wanted to do this book. And then I obeyed the voice and I turned it down. And then injustice fell in my lap. And again, like I was saying before, or in yesterday's live stream, that injustice was just another video game book. And, you know, video game books, as everyone knows, always suck. But injustice turns into this, you know, worldwide phenomenon. And, you know, it was funny because when I gave it up, I was like, Lord, I'm giving this up. You better have something better for me. And it was injustice. So 5 years after, you know, I did injustice for around 5 years. And now I'm done with that. And I'm ready to rock and roll on Lonestar, which is my own book. So let me go back and read some chats and see if anyone had any interesting commentary on my blather. Nice Edwin impression. Thank you. Tension story high. It's the nature of the game. Twitter never helps. What's your EVS like? What is my EVS like? I do not believe I have an EVS. You mean my EVS? I don't know. You're gonna have to clarify that question. It's very, very, very indefined, I guess. You came off as good guy Mike last night. Yay, good guy Mike. I don't want to be bad guy Mike. I think Twitter's fun, but also not putting much personal info there for obvious reasons. Yeah, I understand that. Everyone should be excited. Yeah, everyone should be excited. And you know, all those guys with their own sites, if they want to do, look, if I swear, if you have a few thousand people, subscribers, you've built trust. That's the nature of YouTube. I mean, granted, I just started YouTube, but I've been studying, you know, YouTube marketing and whatnot for months. And that is the nature of YouTube marketing, so to speak, is that you build trust and you build a relationship with your audience. So they want to come back and they want to hear what you have to say because you've built trust with them. And that trust is transferable so that if, say, Edwin wants to talk to his audience and say, you know, well, I found this one. I'm not going to go. You know, I found this great comic. I think everyone should check it out. Well, they're going to trust his opinion. They're going to value his opinion because he has built that trust. He's taken the time, the effort, and invested in you guys. And then you, in turn, turn around and invest in us with trust. It is a relationship. It's a family. And so, you know, if I get on here and I say, hey, go check out Will Callaghan's stuff, I would assume that at least some percentage of you are going to go to your Google and you're going to, you know, type in Will Callaghan and you're going to check out his stuff. And he's got some great creations. And I'm not here to pimp him right now. I probably will at some point in the future. I only have, you know, 380 subscribers right now, but I'm building it. And yeah. And so that's what I was saying is that, you know, all of these individual creators who are complaining that Ethan wants to share the trust of his audience with Mitch or with me, hopefully, then I don't understand what the problem is, because any of them can do the exact same thing. They can create their own properties. They can hire professional artists, professional writers, whoever they want to do the same. And so there's no literally there's no gatekeeping involved. It is do what you want. It's your audience. But you don't get to tell Ethan or Rich or Edwin or anyone what to do with their audience. That's not, you know, what is this, communist YouTube? It's not. It's this is the free market, baby, and that's the way God intended it. I don't really comment on anyone I don't know or RT retweet things I disagree with to stir the pot. That is a fair way to do things. Kick Doug's butt. I'm good. I haven't been in a fight in a while, and I'm not interested in beating anybody up. Even when I have gotten into fights, I don't want to talk about it. Decent creators are getting a chance to make quality material, and fans are getting unprecedented access and response from creators. That's right. This is the it's the video mail page. What do you want? Why are you sneaking under my thing? Like, my favorite thing to do used to be reading the letters page in comics. And what are you looking for? Oh, the stylus? It's right here. Right in front of him. Don't get it. My son's trying not to be on camera. And so when I did my own comic in '97, Immortal 2, man, I'd have so much fun doing the letters page. And so, yeah, it was funny because Mike Turner, rest in peace, he came up to me at San Diego one year. And I knew Mike before he even got into comics or professionally. But he came up to me and he's like, Mike, I pick up Immortal 2 just to read what you're gonna say in the letters page. Because like I said, I've been fighting this fight for 25 years. So I enlisted my friend Jeremy Cox, who was agnostic at the time, and I'm like, hey, let's do an argument in my letters page. And so I did a little feature called Fencing with the Atheist. Yeah, so, yeah, but YouTube is like, it's live streaming letters page. It's like you have this direct back and forth with your fans, and it is really something enjoyable. I get a kick out of it. I am going to make the effort to make sure I do at least one of these a day. I actually want to do another You Can Draw video later today. I did. I've had some feedback from people who are actually using those videos and getting better to draw. So yeah, I'm going to try to do a couple of videos today. Can't wait for fun and exciting creator-owned comics again. No more corporate junk from the Mouse and Warner Brothers. Yeah. Yes. Although, in all honesty, not that I want it to be corporate, but my creator-owned universe, I am going to, God's will, I'm going to be creating multiple books, all within a cohesive universe, but sort of the way the Marvel movies, culminated in Avengers. You start with, and then you go Thor, and then you go, you introduce these new characters, and they are part of the same universe, and they have threads that weave through each other's things, but ultimately, you end up with this great big, I wouldn't start my universe, and I'm not saying nobody should, but I'm not going to start my universe with like the Avengers, right? Or the X-Men. I'm not going to start with a big old group. Even though I have a group, my comic is actually about Lonestar. He's just part of the group. But that's beside the point. It's not like I'm going to do a book with Lonestar and Cyberjack and Hero and Superhero G and Hourglass, and just cobble together all these different character stories for one Avengers style book where nobody gets enough screen time, and the audience doesn't get to learn and grow and know about the characters. So I'm starting with Lonestar and moving on from there. But ultimately, yeah, it'll be a creator-owned universe, but I'm hiring other creators to do the books eventually. So So I hope that makes sense, and I hope it's a good plan. Make Bible comics. Actually, I do have a Bible comic. Let me show you. I haven't been working on it for a while because let me do the screenshot. Because I got sidetracked into doing my own story, Bless This Mess, but then I also entire screen. Sure. I got sidetracked into other projects too, but it would be interesting to. Oh, there's the Comics Debut piece. Why is this on previous? So I was sitting in church one day, and I had this vision of like a white image that had like a black dot on it, and it was like, okay, the white is perfection and the black is sin. So you cannot have perfection with even a speck of sin, right? And then this vision somehow morphed into like being caked in sin and caked in mud, and it just kind of tumbled, anyways, it culminated into this little book I decided to do. So I took the, let me see. Yeah, let me do a square version, square page. So I took the Gospels and, okay, what the heck? Let me just do the first one. All right. I took the Gospels and what I combined them into a single story, or tried to do a singular version. I can't remember what they call that when they combine all the Gospels into one story. I mean, it is all one story, but you take the parts that are missing from the other ones and try to weave them all together. And so what I wanted to do was like a Calvin or Hobbes version of the Bible, where you are. Oh, darn it! Oh, okay. But I wanted to do it all without words, so it's a universal telling of the Bible. I could print this in England and ship it to Kenya, and it doesn't matter because there's no words in it. So, but it tells the story just through the art of storytelling. So here's the angel of the Lord. This is in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God in the beginning. And so then the creation of the universe, and then God loves the world and loves man, and then no, look at all that crap that's happening. Someone's got to go save the earth. And this, I have obviously the Bible references on the side. Then here's Mary, and ta-da! Your angel shows up, scares the heck out of her. And literally, I mean, granted, this is a cartoonized version, but that is word for word what the Bible says. How she was frightened of the angel when he appeared. And then the angel says, "Oh, from up there, you're going to have something in there." And then she's like, "Nope." And he says, "Women." And then Mary goes to tell Joseph. Is it Joseph? That's Joseph, right? And then he kicks her out. And then the angel of the Lord comes to Joseph in a dream and tells them the baby is okay. And then Joseph runs back to Mary, and she kicks him out. Okay, I took a little liberty with that one just to be funny, but I wanted it to be funny too. And then Mary goes to visit Elizabeth, and then the baby in Elizabeth's womb kicks. And then the angel of the Lord, or what was it? The Spirit of the Lord came upon Elizabeth, and she prophesied that the baby in her womb would be the King of the Jews and the Savior, the Messiah, the Christ. And then the angel, or the Spirit of the Lord departed. So you can read all this just with imagery, right? Mary stays with Elizabeth for a while and then ultimately gets kicked out. And then I put the little dollar sign on there to show that this is like the census. And then what page is this? 12 pages. Is this 12? This is 12. So, and this is the third word that shows up, but it's a name. So this is when is it Zechariah? Is Elizabeth's husband Zechariah? I think it's Zechariah. You know, he was struck mute, although I couldn't really explain that. And this is also colored, I mean, awesomely. I love this like watercolory kind of feel by Tio, the guy that did the Lonestar piece. But I was reworking it so that rather than just being covered in mud, they are covered in clothes that are also covered in mud. And the whole mud thing makes sense because the mud is the sin, right? And so the babies are born unmuddied, and the people, you know, are all muddied, except for when Jesus comes. Oh, maybe I have one of those. Let's see. Let us see. File. When Jesus comes, he's like the only not muddy person. You know what? There. I'm not even doing this book right now. I got pretty far into it. I think I did like 40 some odd pages. And then stop screen share. I think I did around 40 some odd pages. And then I moved on to doing the Bless This Mess strip, which I could also show you. Maybe I'll save that for another time. But that's based on my family and sort of a, yeah, just all the kind of mess you get into when you've got 5 children living in your house, breaking your TVs every 6 months. All right, let's go back to this so I can see what people are saying. So yes, Make Bible Comics. That is something someday I will get back to it because I do want to do the entire story so that it can be. But gosh, maybe I should do Indiegogo for that. I'm gonna get sidetracked. I have so much I want to do. Too much. But yeah, I need to get paid to be able to take the time to do these things. The Afar book, though, would be, gosh, I would love to just finish that, pay Tio to color it, and then publish it, and get it to like every church and every missionary. It'd be a great global mission. But now I'm focused on Lonestar. So you guys keep me on that. Remind me to get back to that after this main rush with Lonestar, because I can still, do a couple pages of that and do Lonestar every day. But yeah, I guess I can. I can do those in tandem. I'm just grateful you guys have the testicular fortitude to do this. It's got me back into comics after a hiatus from back when 2000 AD went bust over here in the UK. 2000 AD. When was that? Was that like the 2000? It was like 20 years ago, wasn't it? Something like that. I love the indie movement. Never been a fan of big corporations. And Mike, awesome testimony. Thank you. Did I give my testimony? I don't. Well, part of it, I guess. What am I losing? I'm losing. Oh, an Ethan impression. I don't know. I don't have one of those ready for prime time. Ethan's got certain particular inflections from being from Jersey that don't sound like your typical Hollywood Jersey accent. So I don't know. I'll try to pick some more of that up before I release that one to the crowd. You came across great last night. I thought new fans for sure. Yeah, I got like 100 subs since yesterday, so that was nice to see. I'm hoping to build this channel up, build my audience up, build this family up. You are all my family. Sorry, Elijah. You have hundreds of new brothers and sisters. Pound that thumbs up button. Yeah, there's 33 people in here and only 16 thumbs up. What's wrong with you people? Pound it. And share it. Share it. I'm good here because I feel your outlook and ideas are good for the movement. Thank you. Yeah, I think we all have, like I keep saying, we all have the same vision, that we all have the same goal in mind. So there's going to be, when you're all in an elevator together to go in the same place, elbows are going to stick in each other's ribs, and you're just going to have to get over it. When you say something stupid, you say something thoughtless, apologize, even if it's not your policy. And I am talking about Cummings here because he said something to me, and it's nothing that's terribly, but just his idea that I said it, therefore I stick by it. I don't know. I mean, how old is he? I said before that I understand it, and to a degree I do understand it, but all that is ego. If you said something stupid, and you know you said something stupid, just apologize. We are a forgiving bunch. Ethan is a forgiving man. I mean, Ethan and I have had our scrapes, and we are we're thick as thieves now, but because we forgive. Forgive people. It's a great exercise. Hawaiians are tough. Huge BJ Penn fan here. I don't know who BJ Penn is. Sorry. And I'm a native Hawaiian, but I am not genetically Hawaiian. I'm half Japanese and half Euro mutt. So, and actually, my Japanese is also. I'm not pure Japanese. Like the Japanese are actually, Korean expats from like hundreds of thousands of years ago. But there were a people on Japan prior to the Koreans coming over. They were called the Ainu. They were the indigenous people of Japan, the Indians of Japan. I think they were more Russian Mongolian. You should look it up. They have some really weird textiles and face paint and whatnot. But yeah, my grandmother or great-grandmother, I think grandmother was Ainu. So I am part native Japanese, like Native American. But my kids are Native American, so or part Native American. So, anyways, it's all. I'm a mishmash. I'm a mutt. Happy to be. Mutts are the most genetically superior. Forget the Aryans, man. All that. We are the master race. The mutts are the master race. Yeah, it's just like with dog breeds. You get a pedigree dog. Sorry, you keep like touching my face. You get a pedigree dog. It's gonna last you like 6 years. You get a mutt, that thing will be around until you die. They're just you breed out too much of the genetic diversity in a creature or in a population, and it becomes sickly. So sorry, master race. You should inject some new genetics into your bloodline. Something Vox Day would argue vehemently against, by the way. I've read some of his stuff, and I'm like, wow, he probably wouldn't like me. Just a reminder to people to check out Kyle Ritter's YouTube to see some of his coloring on Cyberpunk and other stuff. Yes. Shoot, I need Kyle's email. Yeah, could somebody post up Kyle's YouTube page on here? I haven't been to. I've been so busy since he was on the stream with me the other day. But yeah, fantastic colors. I can't wait to see him do the Comicsgate piece. But I haven't sent it to him yet because I don't have his email. I asked Ethan for it, but I think he got too busy to give it back to. So, hello, Mike. Devil Knight V says, "Hello, Mike. I am excited for Lonestar. He remind me of the Rocketeer." Yeah, I can see that. I can, and you know, part of that is I was modeling the female lead after Jennifer Connelly in the Rocketeer. So, what's Kyle's page? What's Kyle? Just Kyle Ritter. Yeah, never mind. Found it. Kyle Ritter is what it says, and it does show up. Thanks. It was 1 or 2 down though. He has agreed. Green Lantern. Yes, I already have comic universe I created. Cross Comics has created a comic universe. Tell us all about it, man. How many issues do you think the first story arc will be for Lonestar Mike? The first story arc breaks down to about 144 pages. I was planning on doing it as a 6-issue miniseries, but I don't think that is conducive for Indiegogo. So what I think I've decided on is doing 3 campaigns with 48-page chapters in each. I don't want to commit to a 144-page graphic novel all in one shot. Plus, unlike Ethan and Rich, I like having alternate covers on stuff, and I have, you know, friends who I want to see have covers on my book, and so, you know, I can't do that with just Squareback. Gosh darn it, no. Maybe I should do just staple bound for the first ones. So what I want to do is eventually do it all together as a singular trade. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff I have to work out before I launch the Indiegogo. So, but yeah, the first story art, the treatment is all written out. Edwin, have you had a chance to read that yet? If you're still in here, let me know. And so, yeah, it would be 6 issues, but we'll figure out how I break it down. I want a proper Crusades comic. A great channel is The Real Crusades. Oh, dude, I've watched almost all of The Real Crusades stuff. He's got a terrible speaking voice, but he's got such a lot of great information. Sad part is the guy from Kingdom of Heaven in real life is a true hero, not like the movie. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody loves Crusade stuff, go to Real Crusades History on YouTube. It's a great channel. It's hours and hours. I mean, I don't even know how many hours of stuff, but it's so much good stuff on all of the different Crusades and all of, and it's all sourced from original first-person documentation, like, you know, like journals of Ottoman warriors and journals of you know, Christian knights or Catholic knights or whatever. Yeah, it's the Crusades are fantastic. I mean, well, as far as a historical thing, you know, and they were the bulwark against the Muslim invasion taking over Europe. So let's not pretend that they were primarily an aggressive campaign. They were a defensive campaign. So, do a superhero Bible comic? Actually, about 20 years ago, I started putting together a thing called Heroes and Villains of the Bible, which is where I would take, as I said, I want to do like a Marvel universe of the Bible. So you'd have, it's funny because you'd have characters that were both hero and villain, and you could do interesting things with that. And I had a few people. I had Ray Anthony Height. I had Randy Green. I had people lined up to do to different character, the different characters. But that fell apart. Maybe someday I'll get around to that too. I like the art. That looks great. I guess you're talking about afar. Logos. Oh, the word. Yep. Logos. Oh, that's great. I was disappointed in the Noah movie, as it is a cool story as God destroyed the world because of the Nephilim. Half human, half angels were out of control and waging massive wars and other crazy stuff. That plays into my universe quite a bit, if not in name, in source. The source of powers and whatnot. It has a lot to do with what you're talking about. And yeah, Noah was terrible, and I was so disappointed because Jennifer Connelly, Russell Crowe, Noah, and I'm like, how could I not love this movie? And I just freaking cringed all the way through that thing. It was so bad. I mean, the acting was great, the production was great. It was just the story was just ridiculous. Scrolling back up. This is really good. I'm really liking this mic. When will it be out? Oh, afar? I don't know. Do you guys think I should do an Indiegogo for afar and just... I mean, I really can get that done fairly quickly. Can you answer that or hang it up? Who is it? No. Toll free! Yeah, tell me if you think I should. I mean, I guess I could get pimped out pretty good. And I think it'd do a lot of good in the long term. But yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should. Do you have John and Christ in the river not that far along? I do have John and Christ in the river. You want to see it? I'd have to scroll through. All right. Okay, bear with me, folks. I'm going to find it before I screen share so I don't have to waste time. Afar. I was thinking maybe I should play some classical music in the background so these long, empty moments of silence don't get annoying. What the heck? Where's my FR folder? FR pages. Where's my folder? It's 28, 34. Ooh, okay, that's all. I got 50 pages into a FAR. Put this. Do a quick look at our beginning page. They aren't all colored. I'm going to screen share, and then I'm just going to scroll backwards through these just so you guys can see them. Screen share. I know you love looking at my filthy office, but okay. So this is right after Jesus gets up. So that's Jesus, the one here, the one with no mud on him. And this one, they're like, "Isn't Joseph your dad?" He's all, "You're not the Messiah. You're not the Messiah." And then they kick him out. See, legit, straight out of the Bible, man. 49. This is when he goes and announces he's the Messiah. This is when John is imprisoned. This is when Jesus gives Satan the boot. Gosh, I'm doing this backwards. Sorry. And then here's the hordes of angels after the 40 days. This is Satan saying, worship me and I'll give you the whole world. And then Jesus giving him the boot. Das Boot. Taking him to the temple, saying, jump off. And the angels will save you. And then he says, no, and he pushes Satan off. Gosh, I love this book. I really do need to get back in this. Satan tempting him with pie in the desert. And Jesus saying, no. Jesus doing his desert, when he goes off into the desert for 40 days, 40 nights. Following the Holy Spirit to the desert. And there's what you're asking for, John. The Holy Spirit leading Jesus away from John. And then John telling them, there goes the Lamb of God. Follow him. And here's the Holy Spirit descending on Jesus like a dove. And then God says, this is my son. So I did the Facebook like thumb. And here's John baptizing Jesus. But first he says, no, you should baptize me. And then John sees Jesus and he says, the Messiah. Verse 7. John baptizing, asking, are you the Messiah? And he says, nope, baptizes somebody else. John talking about heaven. And have you broken the law? Yes. Baptized. This is Jesus when he was 12 years old. His mother, says, where have you been? He said, don't you know I'd be in my father's house? And then Joseph saying, Father? Where's the next one? Come on now. Oh, this one's fun. So here's Jesus confounding the teachers and the scribes and teachers in the temple. And he's saying, well, how can a circle cannot be a triangle? And then Jesus says, a circle and a triangle are a cone. You just have to add a dimension. So that's one of my little things about how we can understand the Trinity or the triune nature of God. It's because we lack the dimensionality to understand it. The same way a two-dimensional person can't understand that a circle can be a triangle, but a three-dimensional person can. This is when they're looking for Jesus, the little have you seen me signs. They said, oh yeah, I saw him, he's in the temple. And this is for Passover. Was it Passover? I think it was Passover. I could be wrong. And then they get all the way home and they're like, where's Jesus? Or Yeshua, they would ask. This is Jesus growing up, then teaching his siblings. Oh, and this is the last color page I got in, so page 30. We got 30 pages in on colors. And that's the Trek to Nazareth. This is the angel warning Joseph in a dream. Oh, no. Telling Joseph in a dream that King... Which king was it? The king that ordered him dead. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Herod was dead from... I forget what it was, but basically he died of something related to his organs. And do you remember what it was? Like something of his colon or something. And giving him, telling him to go home. So that should be the black and white. And then, this is the wailing when Herod orders the killing of all the children under 2. I mean, really, literally, I do have enough here to launch an Indiegogo just with this, huh?
The burning fever, ulcerated entrails, valve discharge convulsions, etc.
Yeah, he basically died of diarrhea. Then my Three Wise Men, I did the Three Stooges just for kicks. This is where Herod orders the killing of the babies. Gosh, my Herod is so mean looking. Joseph and Mary packing up for this. No. Oh, yeah, he was. Okay, wait. This is when they were warned. Previous page. Warned in a dream to flee to Egypt because King Herod was going to kill Jesus. So we're almost. Oh no, I've got another time. Yeah, okay, I don't want to do this whole thing. Sorry, I know you guys might stop. Hopefully you were enjoying that, but where am I here? Okay. Scrolling back up. I already have comic interest created. Proper percents. Looks great. Lotus. Oh, I must have opened a different page, so I'm not where I was before. Yeah, nice to see you do the art for a comic you've written. Yeah. It's I'm glad to finally be doing that again. It's been a long time. I mean, besides Bless This Mess and Afar. Well, I didn't write Afar. I adapted it. Did you ever see R. Crumb's version of Genesis? I think I saw part of it. I didn't read the whole thing. People thought it was going to be irreverent, but it turned out to be very different, and it was very good. Yeah, Penthouse did a Genesis thing too. I didn't want to see. Oh, okay, Mike, your audio and video are out of sync. I think you can pause and unpause and the stream to get it back. Pause and unpause. How do I pause? How do I pause the stream midstream? Let me see. That says I can stop. Let's see, control room. Video, audio. Invite people. Add apps. I see nothing for where I can pause. So, sorry. Sorry. Hold on a second, let me get out. So I guess you're just going to have to deal with me being out of sync. Just pretend like I'm being dubbed from a Japanese movie. For a minute, I'm going to see something real quick here. Oh my gosh, when I'm using this, it like sucks up all of my bandwidth for the rest of my internet. All right. Mutts are good, indeed. Hi, Mike, I'm here, but I'm working, listening along. Thank you. Feel cool? Listen along. I'll try to keep it entertaining. Required. I am okay buying single issues, and then if you do a trade and add some extras, I may buy again. Yeah, so what I was thinking is if I do the issues, I mean, honestly, I could do like issue 1 and 2. I could do like 2 issues at a time for the Kickstarter or for the Indiegogo. That way I could do my alternate covers with my different friends doing the covers. I'd like to have Ethan do one too, maybe even John Malin. Just keep it all in the Comicsgate community. And then like when I do the 3rd Indiegogo for the 5th and 6th issue, also do a an option where you can also pre-order the trade paperback. So yeah, stuff I got to figure out. Dude, your inking is really great. I'm new here. Have you shared your thoughts on digital inks? Why you're sticking with traditional? I've seen people do great traditional or digital inks. I personally do not enjoy working on a Wacom tablet or a Cintiq. I like the feel of real tools, and I like the feel of real paper, and I like having original art. I mean, I get to hold this in my hands, right? Someday, when Comicsgate has taken over the world, this particular piece of original art is going to be worth $5 billion. So I'm aiming high, but you know, I have all this original art, and I like having it. And there's collectors who want to have it, and so yeah. I don't think I could ink personally digitally as well. I mean, I know those guys that create like little brushes and whatnot. Hey, there's Elijah staring into the screen. What are you reading? Or what are you doing? So, here, check if CJ's texted you back. All Crusades are just. No. There was one, what's the 9th Crusade, I think, that was pretty much universally condemned by everyone because it was Christian, or it was Catholics attacking another Catholic city, if I remember correctly. But you know, there's thorns in every rose. Every rose has its thorn. Comic book Asmertus. Okay, yes, I was talking about your Holy Spirit prompting. As a previous youth minister with 5 years experience, I know how hard it is to acknowledge the importance of it. My own hero is driven to do good. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I probably should have listened at the beginning, but I wanted it so bad. You know, and we're all guilty of it. We let the flesh decide things that the Spirit should be deciding for us. Let me see. I got a message real quick. If it shows up. Or Jones Reed. Treat others how you want to be treated is also a huge motivation. He's cabled the bull. I made him when I was 4 years old. Indiegogo coming soon. Book is finished. Just need to print. Cool. Cool. Cabled. Called the bull. Okay. That makes more sense. I'm like, cabled the bull. How did he cable this bull? And do I want to see that? I think you should do a FAR between the Lonestar campaigns, as then you have the first issue out, and it will not sidetrack that campaign. Yeah, well, the first issue, except for I have a little 3-page epilogue, is completely drawn and inked for Lonestar already. I have the first 2 covers done, a promo piece, and the first 20 pages. So yeah, when I launch it'll take 30 days to do my campaign. I'll have the entire first 48 pages, however I'm going to do it, penciled and inked by the end of the campaign. So this isn't going to be something where it takes 6 months for you guys to get your books. But I support you in whatever you do. It should go without saying, but I just wanted to not sound like I am telling you to do something. Oh, no worries, man. I listen to all suggestions, even the dumb ones. Not saying that yours was. That's actually a good suggestion. I should. I will. Yeah. I think I'm being motivated to do a FAR because I think that would be an important piece. Yes. Hi, Jojo. Yeah. Oh, you need someone to brush your hair.
Daddy, what's that?
That's me. I'm on YouTube, and you're on YouTube now too.
Why?
Why? Because I need to talk to people. Because I'm lonely. I only have 5 kids.
That's for me.
Yeah. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi. I'm Jojo.
Hi.
Okay. Go have mommy cut your line. Close the door.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
That's my Jojo. Somebody's at the front door. Who's that? Oh, it's Jared. Jared's here. Make sure you keep them out of here. That's too much noise. Edwin says, I parsed the Lonestar doc quickly this morning. It looks exciting and compelling, and I would absolutely love to do something to promote Lonestar. Wonderful. Thank you, Edwin. Edwin has become the Comicsgate editor, which is good, as I think we all trust his discretion and opinion. Yes, he is the voice of reason. My Edwin, but I'm getting bad at this now because I know he's here. My impersonation was much better when I didn't know you were here, Edwin. I'm absolutely not an editor for the stuff I like, though. I want to help share my enthusiasm and see good people like Mike succeed. And there's good stuff I just don't have the time to look at. Ethan called you his consigliere, or however you spell it, in this live stream, in his stream a few minutes ago, Edwin. Yeah, sorry I'm stepping on Ethan's toes with his live stream, but Ethan has a basement and silence whenever he wants it, and I do not. So I have to take advantage of the time I can to pop these in here. Requited, thank you for that. I'm trying to help signal boost good stuff. Yes. Dang, I don't know what to do with that. Requited. A demolition contractor. Oh, good. Then you can help us demolish Marvel and DC. Or is it just reinforced that everyone was trying to create something great and involve the fans, and so far it seems to be working? Yeah. I think this is a fan-centric movement. This is, like someone said, this is legit grassroots. This is, I mean, I keep coming back to saying it, this is the Tea Party of comics. You know, we're just not going to take it anymore. And those who want to join us, there's no membership fees. There's no gatekeepers. If you agree with us and you're willing to put your entire life and career on the line to say so, hashtag Comicsgate, man. You could end the stream and restart. The sync is not a big deal. Well, that's 2 different opinions, isn't it? Look, I'll let you 2 fight it out in the chat. Going to listen on the road. So have a great 4th of July, the rest of the weekend. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, please do. Hello, Mike. How is your day going? Confederate Son. My day is going pretty well so far, so good. Got my morning things taken care of. Got my iced coffee. Had a nice little chat with my oldest boy, Elijah. Hi, Elijah. Say hi. He doesn't talk much, but he's got a YouTube channel too.
No.
Look, it's Underdog Elijah, isn't it? It's not? What is it? The one with the what is the pea sauce? I'm pea sauce. What is it? What is it? Come on, what is it? Tell it. What is it? I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put my son's YouTube channel in the link later, or in the memo thing below. He's got a really funny video on Tibetan knolls, so check that out. Hi everyone, Add Rags. Add Rags, what? You mean to the Comicscape piece? That is a good idea, as you just have one tier where you just get the trade paperback and one for just floppies and another for both. That is a good idea, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have more options than the other guys. I mean, I appreciate the simplicity, but you know, different people want different things, and you know, I don't want it to get too convoluted, but I do want to have some options there. Does Hawaii have giant poisonous insects? I'm gonna let Edwin handle that one. I know they have nasty little black and white ring mosquitoes, or at least they do on Maui. I don't know about Oahu. Those things just love me. I must have mosquito bait for flesh. But they didn't touch my wife when we were there. Requited at Edwin Boyette. Should I just ignore the ones where you're talking to each other in the chat? I won't. It's funny that your day job is destroying things and your pastime is helping promote and create things. He is both creator and destroyer at once. He is the great Edwin. It's always nice to see comics creators and fans coming together to build a community for the love of comics and entertainment and having fun and having a good time doing it as well. Right? Isn't this just everyone having a good time and enjoying each other and promoting each other like what, just like a community? Oh, I forgot that word is anathema. You know what? A family, a network. I don't care about the words. You know what I mean. But the people on the other side are going to look at this love fest and see us all with pitchforks and torches and circling around a statue of Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler. Because they're so deranged. They can't understand that people just want to have a good time and not vomit when they read their comic books. Is it so hard? It puts a smile on my face. Yes, mine too. Is that Gene Simmons? Is what Gene Simmons? I don't get it. Hi, Jojo. Oh, everybody's saying hi to Jojo. That's cute. It's Popo at the door. And keyboard. Keyboard. Ethan, the big name. He should be front man. Well, he is a leader of the movement. You know, we have not elected a president. I mean, if we're coming at this like the 13 colonies, you know, someday we may need to create a federal government with limited powers and elect a president or spokesperson from among us. And in that case, I think Ethan would probably be the front runner, but I think we're a long ways away from that. We just want to be a like-minded hive of fellow creators and fellow comics lovers and entertainers. I think that's all it is at this point, and I'm okay with that. Nice shirt, Uncle Mike. Oh yeah, my mom bought me that. Ethan chat over. Ethan chat's done. Right on, Jojo. Mr. Mike, hello. That's Mike declaring war. Uh-oh. Did I declare a war on somebody? I don't want to declare a war on anyone except for the left. He did, and I didn't hear that here. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thundaro, Lidar. Jimmy Cricket. 42 people watching. Keep it going, Mike. 45 now, yo. Yeah, boy. I only want to hear SJWs get insulted here. Right. Can we keep the insults to the other side of the fence? The gate, as it were. Keep them. That's the gate. Just keep them over there. Build that wall. And put machine guns at the top. Will you offer a PDF option? I will. A lot of my fans are Injustice fans who only read books on their iPads. And so I am going to definitely have a digital version available through the Indiegogo and then eventually through Comixology. You in Hawaii? Is that volcano still going? Oh, Edwin. I'm not in Hawaii. Edwin is. I was born there. I was there last year, but Edwin is currently residing on Oahu, location not to be disclosed. Edwin is the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. In the beginning was Edwin. Rally around the family. Bromance. Yes, we are all bromancing. We all must love one another. All this drama is so stupid. Amen. Kyle Ritter. Hey, Kyle. Send me your email on Twitter so I can get you the links for the comics. Peace. Cross Comics. I have a lot of characters. It is Christian based. Have a website, YouTube channel, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. My universe is Christian based only in the sense that I am a Christian. And even though it is a fictional universe, it is still grounded in my worldview. I mean, as most authors create things from their own worldview. So that's, but I'm not like, I'm not proselytizing people in my comics. You know, if those kind of conversations come up, they will come up organically. As I'm not going to try to shoehorn, you know, come to Jesus moments into my stuff. I believe in organic storytelling. So where can one find porgs in Hawaii? I'm going to leave that one to Edwin as well. Edwin, you're going to have to field all of the Hawaii questions at this point, because I haven't lived there since 1976, 75. It was right before Star Wars came out, because I saw Star Wars in San Diego. Say whatever you want, as it is more interesting to listen to someone who is not censoring themselves. Oh, I always say whatever I want. But sometimes I don't want to say bad things. I generally don't want to say bad things. Are you still waiting until Red Rooster ends, or will Lonestar happen during it? Yeah, it'll launch about a week after Red Rooster launches. That's my plan. Hopefully I will not screw anything up. You declared war on Marvel and DC, remember? Oh, well, you know, I was being flippant. But I'm sure someone will take it out of context and email all the editors saying to make sure they never, ever, ever hire me for anything ever again. Which, no, close the door. More kids. I really liked your new video. Rat-tat-tat, bye-bye, Doug. Doug's one of us. Support us. You got to support everyone, even when they say something you don't like. You know, it's like you know, Uncle Ronnie used to say, it's if someone agrees with you 80% of the time and disagrees with you 20% of the time, that person is an ally, not an enemy. Hi, Mike. Sai27. Hi, Mike. What titles did you work on at Wildstorm? Thanks. Actually, I wrapped up the Wildstorm universe. I did the last 2 issues of Wildcats. I did 2 of the last 2 issues of Authority. Prior to those, however, over the span of, you know, the decades, I did some wet works. I did some. I was really a pinch hitter at Wildstorm, so you know, J.J. Kirby or Humberto Ramos or somebody would miss it. Well, Humberto, no, not Humberto. He never missed deadlines. Yeah, I did do some DV8, but I think that was a Kirby issue. But people would miss deadlines, and they would bring me in to clean up for them because I'm a fast, reliable artist, and they thought, hey, fast, reliable, that's much better than putting him on his own book where he could do 2 issues a month or something. It is the power of Hawaii's sun powering Edwin's hair. The sun is powering your hair, Edwin. Hey, Kyle Ritter. And then that's, gosh, this thing like jumps. It's weird. Mike, I bought your Protector's work from Malibu way back when I loved the book. Oh my gosh. So you've been a fan of mine since 1992? You are my oldest fan. Yay. Kyle's coloring, that's badass. Yeah, Kyle is. I don't have a Twitter. Got a Facebook. Yes, I do. Yes, I have. I'll look you up. Like C.S. Lewis. Oh, you mean in organic writing, probably. Loved your Batman, Kyle. Kyle Ritter. Hi, Kyle. Everybody loves Kyle. Welcome. How old are you? You look like 42. I will be 47 next month. I am, I think, the grandpa of Comicsgate at this point. Hey, can you go be with CJ outside? Because I don't want you guys in here. And have mommy go talk to his grandmother. Kids want attention. Yes, they do. And now I have my kids here, and then I have 2 of my kids' friends are here. So this is going to be a house full of noise. I'm trying to keep it quiet in my office, but sometimes that's a battle that I can't win. It Christian-based, as in the heroes are Christians. Try not to be in your face with Christianity. Yeah, my Lonestar is a Christian too, and Pastor is a Christian, but none of the other guys in the Unknown Soldiers are Christians at this time. Maybe they'll be converted. It'll be a great come to Jesus moment. He is still a bit behind, but getting there. Just random answers right now and a bit about his plans for Lonestar. Mike, awesome team up drawing. Oh gosh, jumps up again. Drawing on the EVS live stream. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I can. You guys can see that on Twitter, by the way. I posted it up there at Abacus Mike here. At Abacus Mike. There's my Twitter handle at the bottom. And yeah, my page is, that piece is all over Twitter, and it'll blow up once Kyle puts his awesome colors on it. Kyle Ritter, smart move not having a Twitter. Twitter is a place you go if you want to be angry all the time. So much truth in that. I'm hearing kids fighting back there. Yeah. I'm going to close the door completely. Hold on. Unfortunately, I do not have a way to soundproof my 58-year-old home. So, already added you on Facebook just now at Mike Miller. LOL. Okay, cool. I closed my Facebook because it keeps doing all the dings. But I'll check it out later, and you can't hear me. I closed my Facebook until the stream is over. You up after. Smash that like, people. Only 35 likes and 49 people watching. Does that mean that there are 14 people who don't like me? Then why are you here? Do we have infiltrators? Get them! All right, smash that like. Awesome to know that you had a YouTube account. Mr. Ritter, just sub. Yes, subscribe to Kyle Ritter's YouTube. Just search his name and check it out. Blow him up. And like and share. Don't forget to share. Please share my videos. Share my everything. I need to get this community growing. So I'm a creationist also, but don't buy that 6,000-year-old stuff. I don't know. I don't put a date on it because who can know exactly, right? But I do believe in a young Earth. I believe the evidence is very much for a young Earth. That's the only reason I'm not an evolutionist anymore. I was an evolutionist when I first became a Christian because I was raised agnostic, and 2 decades of being indoctrinated by media, by education, by my dad, that evolution was all there was, right? And then when I didn't have a dog in the fight anymore, I started looking into the arguments and the evidences against evolution and against an old Earth for a young Earth, and then ultimately for creation itself. And yeah, it just, when you don't have a dog in the fight and you're not looking for a reason not to believe in something, then you can look at it objectively. And from my objective reasoning, the evidence landed on the side of a young Earth creationism. Not everyone's going to agree with me. I'm not forcing everyone to agree with me. And it's not a matter of salvation or anything, so it's not really high on my list of things I have to defend right now. Would you be willing to give a short testimony of how you became a Christian? I love your boldness. Yeah. So, like I said, raised agnostic, Buddhist mother. I was very much into sort of the ancient aliens type thing. Before there was such a thing as ancient aliens, I was into like UFOs. I was into, creepy crawlies, whatever, chupacabra. What? I just love that stuff because I'm a creative person. So it's like it's all this stuff that can feed into story mode. It's like, oh, I could take this, and I could take this, and I can turn it into this creature. I can turn it into a story, and all this stuff. And so I was like really into it. And I started getting into NDEs, near-death experiences. And I read a book called Embraced by the Light, which it's not a Christian book. It's not truth as far as I'm concerned. But what it did was it scared me because I was kind of a proud jerk. Anyone who knows me from high school knows that, it's like I was gregarious but gruff. I prided myself on being honest to the death. I don't know how else to say it. Oh wow, you are looking very fat today. My mom's kind of like that, so that's probably where I got it. But anyways, that's kind of not the point. So I read this book, and something in this book said that that Jesus was God, right? He was like top God. And this is such a pantheist thing. But they said that whatever God you believe in, when you die, you will meet that God, and then that God will take you to Jesus. So, but here's the thing. In order to get into heaven, all of your sins will be visited upon you tenfold. And I'm like, it was just the idea of it, of like me having to pay for, not just pay in equal balance. And again, none of this is like legit, I know, but at the time it was like an idea in my head that had just been fed into me. So it led me to pray for the first time in earnest. But yeah, I'm like, wow, tenfold. and the amount of jerkish stuff I had done. And I was only like in my 20s at the time. So imagine like 60 years of being a jerk. I don't want to name names. Anyways, so it led me, I was driving home from my girlfriend's house at the time. I lived a half an hour away. I lived right by the airport. And she lived in La Costa, which is a really nice part of northern San Diego. And I was like driving, heading towards the highway, and I'm like, okay, Jesus, if you are who you say you are, prove to me that I'm not the a-hole that I think I am. And like 20, 30 seconds later, I'm pulling over to the off-ramp. Never seen it before in my life, never seen it since. There was a hitchhiker at the off-ramp. And I'm like, okay, this is an opportunity to not be an a-hole, right? To be selfless for no good reason other than to be helpful to another human being. And so I pulled over. The guy got in. I said, where are you going? He's like, the airport. I'm like, okay, that seems a little weird. So then the next time, and I can't even remember what the second time I prayed for was, but the second time I prayed, it was like 20, 30 seconds later, it was answered. And I'm like, okay, there might be something to this. And so my friend and fellow comic book artist, Ben Herrera, was a devout Christian who was always listening to like Christian stuff and Christian radio and whatnot. He had given me some tapes by a wonderful, wonderful Bible teacher named Chuck Missler, who was like my dad. He was an engineer, a computer science engineer. He had this great background in aerospace and all this stuff. And what he did was he dissected the Bible from a technical analysis perspective that, I started listening to, because he also had Ben had given me the tapes because he knows into UFOs, and he had a Christian take on the UFO phenomenon. But I started listening to all these other tapes, and I started reading these other books that he would recommend and all this stuff. And I was like looking at the Bible. Okay, at this point, I hadn't even read the Bible. I was just looking at technical analysis of the Bible, if that's a way you can view it. And I'm not going to get into all of the evidence. That is a much, much long. This wasn't an overnight process. I don't even know when I exactly came to believe what this was, all the conclusion that I came to. But ultimately, the conclusion from all of this study of the Bible, without even having read the Bible, I could read the parts that were being cited and whatnot, but I hadn't sat down and read the Bible, was that I had two options. This book was either provably written because of, history written in advance, medical, scientific foreknowledge, blah, blah, blah. It was either written by time-traveling space aliens determined to rule the world and fool the world, or it was written by the person who claims authorship, which is God. And so I went with option 2, and then, and like I said, I don't even know when I came to this conclusion, but as I came to it, I came to believe what it had to say, and therefore I came to accept Jesus as my personal savior because of it. Which is funny because I don't even know when I came to that conclusion. It wasn't like some lightning striking me and the Holy Spirit descending on me and this great revelation. It was just Ben had come over and I had told him what I was concluding from all of this study, and he's like, "Oh, now all you have to do is accept Jesus into your heart." And I'm like, "Yeah, I already did, I think." But that moment I remember. So I guess vocalizing is what made it sort of real. One of these days, I've been trying to get Ben on here so we can shoot the crap and like draw and stuff. But he's like, oh, I'm too busy. I'm like, dude, come on now. He's a great guy. You guys love him. He's got to start his own channel too. Ben Herrera, look him up. He used to do Star Freak for not Freak Force, Star Freaks for Malibu, bunch of stuff for Marvel. He's doing some stuff for Will Callaghan right now, actually. Excuse me while I coffee file. So then after making that conclusion, I did start to read the Bible. I started at the beginning. And I started the process of changing my life to conform with what the Bible had said. Because, as I said, my foundation at this point was, this is the Word of God. What I believe isn't important. And if what I believe doesn't conform to what this says, I'm wrong. God's not wrong. I'm wrong. And if you don't believe that way, but you say that you believe in God, you say that you believe in Jesus and the Bible, then I'm sorry, but you're being your own God. If you're telling God what is right and wrong, you are being your own God. And that is Satan's first lie. That you can be like God. Because you're not. You're only like God in the sense that you know good and evil and all that stuff. All right, Mike got back. Oh, no. What I was going to say. So after that, I started reading the Bible. I started doing all that, blah, 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 blah. And then the AOL message boards came along. And this is where I met Ethan, because Ethan was an out and proud Mormon at the time. And I met Kevin Grievous on there. It was the AOL John Byrne message board. John Byrne, also an out and proud atheist. And I would go on there, and it was his crew. He's surrounded by atheists. So I was like, all right, trial by fire. So I jumped into the message boards, and I started, arguing my points. And so what I would do, and I did this, I swear to you, for like 7 hours a day for years. It got to the point where the AOL moderators themselves gave me my own board called Religion, and I called it Religiously Incorrect after Politically Incorrect, because I was on there so much. And so it was me, it was Ethan, Kevin Grievous, what's his face, Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, who hates me to this day because of it, and some a bunch of other people, but they were all, Kirkman was nobody. He was doing freaking Battle Pope at the time. Ethan was doing Cyberfrog. I was doing Immortal 2. Kevin hadn't done anything. He hadn't even written Underworld yet. But so I got on there, and so what I did was I would, I'd throw a kindling into the fire. Someone would come back and bombard me with all of these questions, well, how about this, and how about this, and how about this? And so I'd be like, oh, good. This is where I learn. You learn, or I learned not by arguing. So I wasn't like shooting from the hip. What I would do is I would take a question, every single question I would answer. Someone could come on there and give me a litany of 40 different questions, because, people just type. Well, here's all my arguments against the Bible, blah, 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 blah. And then I would go in and I'd piecemeal it one part at a time. And now I'd go and I would research. If I didn't already have a logical explanation for that particular question, I would go and research it. Because, a lot of the questions about the Bible, about inconsistencies and whatnot, a lot of it just boils down to poor translations. And we have the original autographs. We know what the original autograph said because there's so much documentation. There's the Bible. All of the books of the Bible are the most reliable documents in all of history. If you don't believe me, go look it up for yourself. Find your own sources. You will be amazed. Compared to Plato, compared to Caesar, compared to Pliny, compared to Tacitus, compared to any other ancient historical documents, the Bible is 1,000 times more reliable than any of them. Anything. So, including like the Iliad and the Odyssey. Seriously. And so we have those originals, And if you go back to the original languages, a lot of the confusion and the arguments come from an English translation or transliteration that don't line up with what the original text said. It's like, oh, well, you know, how come people in the Bible go around killing and God orders people to kill, but one of the commandments is thou shalt not kill? Well, the commandment literally in Hebrew is thou shalt not murder, which is a completely different thing. But that's just an example of like 1,000 arguments against the Bible that I've had to dismantle over what I dubbed my trial by fire, which was spending, it was my seminary, you know, that's and then, you know, so I've been doing that. I did that for years. I did that until I angered Ethan quite a bit back then. That's a whole different story. But yeah, so I guess that's my testimony in a really long version. And here I am today, being questioned about how I qualify for Comicscape. I'm just kidding. I'm just busting balls. Where am I? Da, 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 da. Ooh, I gotta go back all the way back up. Okay. I went to follow you and found that I already was following you. If you want to turn off the dings, you can go into settings and turn off the sounds for notification. Yeah, the thing is, the live streaming, I guess my computer is just not powerful enough because the live streaming sucks up so much of my bandwidth that if I just click over to another tab, like my video feed will probably like start jittering and stuff. So I'd rather, as much as possible, just try to maintain on this. +1 sub. Do re mi com blob. Do re mi com blob. +1 sub. I remember collecting comic books 25 years ago and meeting people in the comics industry. I keep hoping that some of them were decent individuals. Some of them are. Some of them are. There are, you know, A-list guys that are devout Christians and hardcore Republicans who will who generally don't speak about it. And I'm not outing. I'm not going to out anybody for their own benefit because they have families to feed and they work for Satan. Neutral sucks. Up or down. Yes. You're either warm or you're either hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, I will spit you out of my mouth. 2 holdouts. 41. Oh, now I got 47 followers, only 41 thumbs. Oh no, 41 watching, 47. Yay, more thumbs up than watchers. Although I'd rather have the 47 watchers. Intelligent creation is obvious now that I see. It does become obvious when you don't have a dog in the fight. When you're not mentally trying to prove that life can come from non-life without a creator, then the evidence is obvious. Cal Ritter, he just said to subscribe to your YouTube, which I already have, and hopefully you will put some of your coloring Mike's drawing on it. That is me asking. Yeah, Kyle's going to be doing the Comicscape piece. Love your work, attitude, and hair. Fan for the long haul. Right on, Redbeard. A bully. Who's a bully? What's a bully? Sorry. It's if you guys can comment, because I'm going through the thread as fast as I can, but I'm obviously too long-winded. If when you comment, you can say what you're commenting about at the same time, it would help me understand all the posts. The Mesopotamia requited. The Mesopotamia legends are interesting as they have a lot of the planets in it and crazy alien stuff. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of, that's what got me, you know, not that in particular, but I love all that stuff. I love, it's great stuff. Travis Nelson, I know Travis Nelson, unless it's a different one. Gotta bail for a meeting. Good stream, chat. Love your work, Kyle. Later, everyone. Peace out, Travis. That was 140. That was, he's not here. We all get there in different ways. We all a-holes. Yeah, but I was a little better at it. That's why it was before I became a Christian. I worked with Eric Larson, and we got along so well because we were both out and loud and proud a-holes. But I now try not to be, and he has maintained his status. And, you know, out and proud about it. So I'm not even speaking derogatorily about him. He is the same as I used to be, but he doesn't want to change. You could have had your face cut off and eaten, Mike. What? You could have had your face cut off and eaten. Oh, by the hitchhiker. I see. Well, I am pretty well trained in martial arts, so that would have been hard for some scrawny hitchhiker to do. England behind in penalties. Don't bring up sports in here, young man. Where we go, I was thinking the same thing. 33. I believed in God first, then Jesus later. Was atheist. There you go. Good man. I'm an atheist, and growing up in the conservative Midwest, I have a healthy respect for religion. I don't mind religion in comics. A bad character. Daredevil rocks. Daredevil does rock. Yes. I do like, yeah, Daredevil. Who else? Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler. I don't know if Colossus. I think Colossus is probably an atheist because he is Russian. He comes from atheist Moscow. Moscow. Yes, I take all believers. Just because I am a Christian does not mean I only want Christian friends, fans, followers, or family. I want a big, diverse, happy family who are not SJWs. That's all I want, because they're full of hate. They are, you know, even in my own family, I have a person in my family who, you know, she's a nice person, but she's very, very left. She's very, very much an SJW. And after the election, she literally, and this is family, she literally, quote unquote, unfriended me. And she emailed me about this too. She's like, I'm unfriending you in real life. Because I was a Trump supporter. And it's like, okay, you can't. Trump broke them all. I mean, she's better now. We're fine again. But these people just got so bent by Trump winning that they gave up any semblance of pretending that they could put up with people with whom they disagreed. And they simply can't. They want to go back into their echo chambers and tell all their little friends who agree with everything they say how evil everyone who disagrees with them is. And that's basically why we can't have SJWs on this side of the comics gate. So shut the comics gate on them. Keep them out. This is for us. And if you are one of us, then we are family. I've got all my sisters in me. Jiminy Cricket, I first met you on your religiously incorrect message board. Wow, we do go back, huh? Yeah. Oh, I think you mentioned that on Facebook a while ago, huh? I'm left rooting for Russia just to piss off SJWs. Wish this was easier to control. It would be okay. King James, the best, before the infiltrators started messing with it. Yes, King James is the Bible I go for. Even though, you know, it's got its imperfections, we know what they are. That was always Chuck Missler's thing. It's like every Bible, every translation has its problems, but the King James is so old, we know what all the problems are already. So Russia is not a SJW nation. I could cheer for them. Yes, but kill, not incorrect, just not specific enough. Oh, talking about thou shalt not kill. Thanks for the testimony. Very interesting. Chuck Missler has some good stuff on UFOs. Searching for the truth led me to Christ. Yes, yes. That's right. Seek the truth and continue to seek it. I don't care what you believe. Just, you know what? I don't care what you believe. I don't care who you believe in. I don't care what God you pray to. Pray to the one true God for revelation and truth. Right? I mean, if you think, the thing is, if you're raised anything, right, whatever you were raised, if you've never questioned that, and I'm not saying that what you end up with is wrong necessarily, if you've never questioned it, then you're just indoctrinated, right? I encourage my children to question, what they hear and what they believe, because I firmly believe that through logic and evidence, they will come to the same conclusions that I have. So it wasn't until I questioned my agnosticism and my upbringing that I was led away from it, right? So it doesn't matter what you believe. You have to be willing to question it. Absolute truth. Even if you're in, say you're in a denomination of Christianity that's a little different from another or whatever. Even there, it's like, question the doctrines, and if you believe that the Bible, if you come to the belief that the Bible is the Word of God, question the doctrines of your church. Do they line up with the Scripture? Are they truth? Or has some person decided that they have a paradigm you should follow that is not in line with that Scripture? So, question authority. But that doesn't mean that authority is wrong. It just means that you have to be intellectually honest enough to seek and find truth. Because if you seek the truth, you will find it. As long as you are diligent about it and willing to be wrong. Willing to, at some point, say, oh, everything I believe, or this thing that I believe, or, this particular doctrine, this particular dogma is not based in truth. Then reject it, Tradition is wonderful, but tradition isn't truth. I think that's enough for that. All from one equals Big Bang. Omnipresence, quantum entanglement, made from mud, evolution, religiousness is bad in scientism and theism. That's what Jesus said. All from one equals made from mud equals evolution. Religiousness is bad in scientism and theism. That's what Jesus said. I'm not sure I understand what the last part means, but that's what I believe when I first what you're just shooting the crap with you guys. That never made sense to me, just ignored it. Slime became life, became me. Never believed that. Yeah, it is literally physically impossible for inorganic life to become organic life. And the Stanley Miller experiment from 1973 was a failure, but they proclaimed it to be a success because they got a single chain amino acid. But each molecule is what they call left-handed or right-handed molecules, right? So picture you have a swimming pool full of black and white magnets, right? And the magnets like stick to each other, stirring the swimming. For that, you get two of those lottery 1 million times out of 1 million times. And there's not enough time in the universe in order for that to have happened. So that's why life coming from non-life is an absurdity in the mathematical sense. Coming from non-life. Is that what I said? I think so. I'm the rare atheist that CR martial arts. I knew I liked you. Yeah, I took Taekwondo when I was young. When I was older, I took some Wing Chun, which Wing Chun is great. Wing Chun's like Othello, you know, a minute to learn, a lifetime to master. But then I also went and I took it's like 1 degree away from Shaolin Kung Fu. Stylistically, it's a lot smoother. It's what Jet Li was brought up in, and Ray Park. He's Wushu and Wing Chun as well, which is why we got along when I met him and we started talking. Yeah, it was funny. Anyways, we take these and Thea's cash. Oh, I'll take anybody's cash. SJWs can buy my books just to tear them apart if they want. I don't care. I'm an equal opportunity take your money guy. Did you hear about all the people making walk a wax? I think you mean walk away. Freaking okay. Does anyone here know anyone who has gone from November 9th, 2016, gone from voting to Trump, talked to hundreds of people like all the time. But there's an entire movement of people walking away from the Democratic Party. 2020 is going to be 1984 all over again. We are going to win 48 states, and all of the SJWs are going to implode. They are going to all be screaming in the streets. I think at that point we should just lock them up before they start bombing the rest of us, because they're probably going to. They're going to be so unhinged. This level of unhingement is nothing compared to what the sweep of 2020 is going to create. And I mean, we'll have other mass shootings, and I'm not smiling about this. This is dead serious. That freaking Vegas shooter was a mass shooter. He was Antifa. Nobody knows it, and I'm not being all conspiratorial, but the government shut down every mention of him on social media, right? But I know a guy who went to high school with the guy, and their alum group was talking about it, and they're like, yeah, everybody in the alum group who had seen his social media prior to this freaking 100% knew he was Antifa. So the government shutting down all of the information that this guy was Antifa was trying to stop his actions from creating copycats, because he was trying to start this freaking civil war. Not even conspiratorial. That's just the evidence I've seen. And, or at least my friend who went to high school with him. And so just imagine 2020. Imagine what's going to happen in 2020 after we clean sweep this nation red. The SJWs are going to try, the Antifas, the freaking, all the unhinged left are going to freaking, they're going to burn this place to the ground. They're going to try to. So it's frightening as much as it is exciting. Yeah, what a downer. Did you hear about all the people making walk away from the left? Because the left used to be about endless war and stopping victimless crimes. Now it's about revenge, racism. Leftists have made their ideology their religion. Yep. And any heretics who don't support or agree with are to be destroyed and shunned. Yep. Did you hear about all the people making the walk away from the left video? Because you're just repeating yourself, Ved. Sorry for the typos. They don't want a colorblind society? Correct. Correct. You can't have identity politics with a colorblind society. I'm surprised they are not burning Martin Luther King in effigy. Hope that ain't soy milk you're drinking there, Mike. No, this is a wonderful ice. Yeah, all of the Enlightenment scientists were Christians or at the very least theists. It wasn't until Lamarck and Erasmus Darwin, I believe, came up with the precursor to the theory of evolution. And then Charles Darwin made it famous with the evolution of the species. Prior to that, yeah. Scientism and theism is blind obedience to science or blind obedience to religion. Jesus didn't like religiousness because the blind should not lead the blind, walk by faith in God, not blind obedience. Yes, I can agree with that, I think. The road to hell is paved with soy. It indeed is. This is why it's so squishy. Mike, do you own the Japanese character you created? I can't remember his name. The one you pitched to DC. He looks such an interesting character, and he looks badass. That is Kagemusha. Yes, that is my character. I was gonna, but yes, I have thought about doing a book on him. I like more how he fits into the DC universe, and if DC had accepted the pitch, it would have been their property. But yeah, now I'm glad it's not. So, lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. For me, it was pride of life is blinding. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. That's it makes so much sense. What kind of conservative would go and shoot a concert full of Republicans? No kind of conservative at all. Yeah, see, it doesn't just make sense. It's like it's almost obvious. But I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they shut down his social media because, oh my gosh, if they got out there and they're like, this guy was Antifa, this guy was Antifa, and then they freaking all those psycho Antifa twerps, those freaking the soy army, they would have all stolen their parents' guns and, you know, gone to the local wherever they could find conservatives gathering and shot them up. And, you know, you could do it from a distance. It's not. Yeah, I'm so glad they did that they shut that down. Scientists know. Here's where I want to stop you. Scientists believe there is a God. LOL. They just hate him. How can you see quantum mechanics and not know God messing with you? Because they choose. Okay, oh, it's like I was saying. If you come to the evidence with a presupposition, and that's what's the problem in mainstream science today, is that you come to the evidence presupposing that everything is material. If that is your starting point, then it doesn't matter what the evidence is, you have to find either a way to shoehorn it in, mess with it. No, I don't swear, or I try my hardest not to swear, so sorry. Open boards is not an issue they should die on. Normies don't want that. Correct. But you know what? Let them die on it. Let them die on their cacophony of freaking ridiculous political positions, because the stupider they look, the more we're going to win this year and the year following and the year following. And we are just going to continue to move the board until this entire country is red, except for one sliver of California. Hopefully, this breaking up California law passes. Somehow we get it through Congress, and we can just chip away this whole left coast of California, and the rest of the state will eventually go back to being Republican. And I'm not a Republican, but I'm an independent. I guess that's tangential. I haven't even looked around for other chat. What? Why would you look around for another chat? This is the best chat going. Marx plus Christianity equals Hitler. Hitler was not a Christian. Hitler was a cultist. Marx plus science equals Stalin. Actually, Hitler used the theory of evolution to justify his racist theologies and his murdering of blacks and homosexuals and gypsies and Jews. So Marx plus equality equals Pol Pot. Marx plus 1960 USA equals Jim Crow. Marxism is like sand, it's coarse and it gets everywhere. The AIDS of politics. Marxism. Yeah. Don't they know that this guy was like a freaking out of work leech sucking on his buddies? Okay, that could have gone really wrong. Living off of his buddies' endowments. Oh gosh, that went wrong too. He lived off his friend's money. I can't remember his friend's name. Engels. Lived off of Engels' money. Engels was rich, and Marx was poor and unemployed, just like Bernie Sanders. And he just sat there theorizing all of this crap because he was a bitter little man. I'm so sorry, my typos are very bad. And if I don't fix them, then they change the meaning of the sentence. So sorry for my bad friend. Don't worry about it. We talking God. Don't want to get angry. Who's angry? Was I angry? Try not to be angry. Kage mucho. I'll spell it for you. Kage musha. It means shadow warrior. Oops. Yeah, I actually named him after an Akira Kurosawa film of the same name. I just always loved the name and the meaning, Shadow Warrior, Kagemusha. So, no, but I bet Trump wins 3 more states than last time. Oh, no, dude, I'll put money on it. Not that he'll win 48, but, yeah, dude, I knew, I had a gut feeling that I was sure of that Trump was going to win the election as soon as he announced, and I started putting money. I started taking bets. I won by the time election day came by. I had won $1,400 betting that Trump from day one would win the election. So I have a pretty good gut feeling about this. We may not win 48 states, but it's going to be such a massive landslide, a landslide like we have not seen since Reagan. They keeping that secret. You are right, Mikey. They're never going to answer that. The Los Angeles shooter. Oh, it's Las Vegas shooter. Yeah, Vegas. Better. Mike Hunt is dry. Ha 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 ha. Who is this Mike Hunt fellow? Is that from Mission Impossible? You can have an avatar instead of your face, so the upload is lighter. Voice only. So you don't like my face? Something wrong with my face? Make me sad. Anyone to the right of Chairman Mao is conservative these days. Loony lefties have seen to that. It's sad but true. But hey, I just hope they keep walking away, and I hope reasonable people who are left-leaning see what the walk-away campaign is doing and what the other people are saying, and I hope they agree. You know, that they when they see what people are saying and they feel the same inside, they empathize. That's the word I was looking for. When they empathize, then they will move and they will walk away. And then we are going to own this country for the next generation. I have never been as excited as I have been since Trump got elected. There's hope in the air. It's morning in America. We're coming away from the Carter years, and Reagan is back, but he's got fluffy blonde hair. Hitler was very, very Catholic, all up in Odessa. Hitler, yeah, I'm not going to defend the actions of the Catholic Church. If you've ever read Fox's Book of Martyrs, you'll come away with that being like, how does anyone try to defend what the Catholic Church has done since its inception against, well, not since its inception, probably since the Middle Ages, I guess. No, prior to the Middle Ages. The Catholic Church has done some pretty bad stuff. But no, Hitler targeted pastors and religious teachers, and he was very anti-Christian in his actions, even though he did try to side with the Catholic Church. And I think the Pope at the time was defended him, or a bishop or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I'm not going to get into that here, but yeah, you do have a point. But I would not say that Hitler was a Christian by any stretch of the imagination. No, your face is great. I meant because of the Yahuwah. Oh, you think my face is great? Thank you. Your face is fine. It makes the rest of us feel better. You're killing me, man. Killing me. Kage mucha means I poop a lot in Spanish. Kage means I poop, and mucho, or muka, means a lot. Okay, well, it's Japanese, and not for that. At this point, they know they give credit to Satan as God, maybe, but they know is intelligence behind things. The same thing happens in the UK too, Mike. I have high hopes. Yeah, there's change in the air. People are done. The left pushed too far. You know, I mean, they've been incremental. And after Obama, you know what happened? They're like, we've won. And then they just let their freak flag fly. And the rest of the freaking world is like, whoa. This is not what we signed up for. We just wanted a black president. Right? And yeah, they pushed too far, and the rubber band is snapping back and whacking them in the face. I'm so excited. Kelly not getting more senators, so forget it. Well, we'll see. I mean, Southern California, south of LA, is pretty conservative, so we could end up with that being a good move. They got Diem in Vietnam. He was so bad. Thick Quan Duck burned as he raged against the machine. Hitler was just kind of leftist. My grandparents were in Wehrmacht. They were leftist. Oh, Hitler was yeah, he was a cultist, and he was a leftist. If you guys want a sort of an on-the-ground reportage of the political dynamic during the rise of Hitler and Mussolini and Stalin, read Friedrich Hayek's The Road to Serfdom. It's written from the English perspective during that era while they were rising to power. And it is so matter of fact that totalitarians were coming to power because the socialists demanded it. Because the socialists of the day, see, socialism is communism without the gun, right? And socialism, democratic socialism, is the incremental voting in, the democratic voting in of the things that socialists want. The problem was that the socialists in freaking England too, but in Germany and in Italy and other parts of Europe, they were impatient because they had this socialist uprising, but nothing was happening. We weren't getting these people. They weren't getting their Marxism. Marxism wasn't becoming the government du jour. And so they had come to the realization that the only way you can really implement socialism is through dictatorship. You have to have someone come in, which is ironic because socialism ultimately is supposed to be democratic. But they got impatient and they realized that it wasn't happening. And like I said, this book is so matter of fact about it. It's just like reporting, this is what's happening. And it's interesting because it's not from the post-World War II perspective where we look back on that and we see, oh, dictators are evil or totalitarianism is wrong, because it hadn't been tried other than monarchy. Democratic totalitarianism hadn't been tried. Because remember, all these guys got raised into power through democratic means. So what happens is all these people get bored, or not bored, impatient. So they vote in these people that they know are going to rise to totalitarian power. And then when they do rise to totalitarian power, yeah, then they try to burn the world down. So that's socialism for you. And that was Hitler. He was a socialist. But hey, you know what? You put anyone in absolute control of a socialist country, and they'll be a dictator. It's like a scientific experiment. We've done it over and over again, and it never has a different result. So heed the warning, human beings. Russian needle gun is what unified Germany. I love history. Go. Are you going with a trade paperback or single issue with your first campaign? Keegan Hall. I think I'm going to go, just talking through this in this thread, I think I'm going to go with doing individual issues and doing 2 individual issues per Indiegogo rather than a 48-page square bound, because I really want to save the square bound for the trade paperback. So I think I'll stick to, and then this way I can also do my alternate covers, and you don't have to buy the alternate covers, but some of you are going to want them because there's one person in particular I have lined up. If he can get clearance from his overlords to do a non-direct market comic book cover, it's going to blow you away who it is, because there's A-list and there's, look, I want to buy it. I collect free speech comics like they're Pokemon, and just saying nothing is written in Stone Workshop. The name, talk to Latinos you trust, don't take my word for it, I just want to help. Look, I want to buy it. I collect free speech comics like they are Pokemon. Oh, I'm just saying nothing is written in stone. Workshop the name to Latinos you trust. To Latinos, I don't understand. Oh, Kagemusha. No, because it would be great is the Latino parody of Kagemusha will be your take a crap everywhere guy. I had Trump pins from 2012. Oh, that's awesome. Lots of Vietnamese in Southern California. Yep. My gardener's Vietnamese. People, being a people who escaped communism, we tend to vote against socialism, Democrats. honestly, Joseph Tran, I don't understand how any Oriental cultures who live in America vote Democratic. We are, as a people who understand shame and dignity, the value of hard work, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, all thing that defines being a conservative is what I know Asian culture, Oriental Asian culture, to be. And yet so many of them vote liberal, leftist, Democrat. It boggles my mind. Boggles my freaking mind. And it irritates me to no end. Because they're too smart for that. We are too smart for that. Main man right here, Mike. Oh, man! Oh, I ever tell you guys I got to meet Jason Momoa several times, actually. But the first time I met him, this guy's so big. He's like this, right? So the first time I meet him, I'm like, hey, I was like in a elevator lobby by a bar at the Hilton. I think Hilton. And he was on the phone with his wife, Lisa Bonet. He just got off the phone, and I'm like, I was waiting for him to get off the phone, and I was like, hey, I was telling him that I'd draw the Game of Thrones covers for the comics, and if you wanted to print, just, if you came by my booth, I'd give him all the free prints he wanted. He's all, hey, did you do that? The one with Dany, like she's like naked, but she's got the big dragon behind her and the flames all over her. I'm like, yeah, that's mine. He goes, Bomber, and he like grabs me and hugs me like a bear, and I felt like an 8-year-old child because he's so big. I have a picture of it somewhere. I can, you guys don't care. But yeah, he's such a cool guy. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm from Oahu too, bro. I'm like, Shaka. Oh, and at the time, my hair was even longer, and I had it. Coincidentally enough, I had taken it and I had put rubber bands down it, so I had like 3 or 4 rubber bands down my hair, and he like grabs my hair and he goes, "Hey, that's pretty cool, Drogo." Did you see Burnt Crossroads on the cover of the Rage Against the Machine CD? No, I did not. Soy voice. What? Me soy voice? Me no soy voice. So what books are you putting out that I can slam my doubloons on the table for? In a couple weeks, I'll be doing an Indiegogo for a book called Lonestar. That'll be my first. And then I think I am maybe a couple weeks into that one, maybe when it ends, going to launch Afar, which is my international Calvin and Hobbes style Bible story, or Gospels story. Damn Yankees. Heated, bro. Have you ever seen him burn in video? It's so sad. Talking Gulf War in Vietnam was such a waste. I remember Operation Phoenix, Plan Condor, Operation Condor. They would make a great comic thing. To Gladio. I'm not understanding that. But yeah, I think I have seen that video. Okay, fine. What the heck? Okay, fine. I'll buy the alternate covers. Oriental. Amen. I freaking hate that I'm supposed to be offended by the word Oriental. I grew up saying I was Oriental. Remember, they call me Bruce? Look at my face. I am an Oriental. Dude, we're Oriental. We are not Russian or Pakistani or Indian. We come from the Orient. I don't understand the argument. I think it's just some stupid way for people to want to be offended. I will never be offended, and I want to get a shirt that says, "Look at my face, I'm an Oriental." I should do that. No, the enemy here, Trump only buying time. 2033 is 2000th anniversary of crucifixion and resurrection. Is it though? because we are not on the Jewish calendar. God's time is on the Jewish calendar, 360-day years. Keep an eye on that. They don't. That's why they're fellow Max. There are fellow Max photos in college. I was about to ask if he was really that big. He's huge. He's you're talking about Jason Momoa. Yeah, big dude. Of course, I'm only 5'6"3/4, so take that as it is. Wives? What wives? What? Where? Love your work on the streams. Thank you, Ro Kabir Kumar. Thank you. Was that Cecil?
Was what, Cecil? Was what, Cecil? Wait, let me put a mask on and I can start acting like Cecil.
So Momoa was basically playing himself in Justice League. Yes, he was. He looked like Vibe from CFW's Flash's dad. China, like Germany, uses capitalism, but are leftist. Very interesting. That's why I tell you, Orientals are smart. So China went commie, full-bore commie, through the implementation of that ideology, allowed 100 million of their people to starve, and then saw that 100% free market capitalist Hong Kong next door with the same people but a different economy was blowing up. They had the strongest economy on that side of the globe, basically. And they saw their people jumping the border to go to Hong Kong, and they're like, oh, capitalism maybe work. Okay. So they kept their communist government, but implemented capitalism. So in a sense, even though they say they're communists, they're really more along the lines of like a Mussolini fascist, because it's rather than government ownership of the means of production, it is government control of private ownership of the means of production. So, but yeah, they wised up quick enough that they didn't kill the rest of their people through starvation. Where am I? Oriental is my favorite ramen flavor. All ramen is Oriental flavor. Goodness gracious. Dude, sorry, I just tuned in. Was catching up on EBS stream. I'm a few hours behind work and stuff, but I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Steve Dye. Thank you for being here. Go Big Mike. Better to leave best product. Better to leave best product. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. You look about 6'1", brother, and Jack. Can't even see it. I am not 6. That'd be great if I was 6'1". Although then I would tower over my wife, and it would be really odd. So my wife is like 5'4", but she looks 6'1". She photographs really. Shh, let me get something. So, long time ago, I took my girlfriend at the time to a Comic-Con, and she saw Vampirella. She saw this Vampirella walking around, you know, for working for Harris Comics, and she's like, "Oh, that looks like fun. I want to do that." So I had a bunch of pictures I had taken of her. So I went to Jim Lee's office at Wildstorm, and I said, "Hey, my wife wants to be," or no, we weren't married yet. I don't think. My girlfriend wants to be basically a model. The word cosplay, I don't think it existed at the time. but she's like, she wanted to be a model for. Anyways, long story short, that's my wife. So she was the voodoo model for Wildstorm. We used to hit all the conventions and stuff. How hot is that, huh? I actually drew that dragon on voodoo for Wildcat. So this is a rare collectible poster. If anyone ever finds one, you can bring one to a con that my wife's at in Harrison. Shh, don't tell her. Don't do that. I probably got like the last 9 versions of posters of this in existence. But what's funny is when I went to work at Ion Storm, I brought my wife with me for the interview, and one of the workers there literally had a photo of, because we used to do Polaroids back then. It was long before, this is the 90s. So so you'd take a Polaroid with her, she'd sign it, and $5, whatever. But she walks past this booth, and this guy has a Polaroid with her, and he's like, I think Voodoo just walked past my booth. But yeah, I'm a lucky man. That's why we have 5 kids. Did you see that? Whew. That t-shirt sounds great. Actually, one of my kids looks Oriental. He has that Asian eye slit thing going from my father's side. Grandma Mongolian. Yes. That's called Mongoloid. That's why we're called Mongoloids. Cecil is super chat catnip. Yeah, but I can't get super chats till I have 1,000 subscribers. So y'all need to get out there and get me some more subscribers. Like, share, smash that like. Go share. Share me, share me, share me. Whoa, that's eerie. I bet that would scare Cecil. What's eerie? I don't like ethnic cleansing by leveraging one race out of every industry, incentivizing its mate against it, and working towards the redistribution of its patriarchal inheritance. So Nazi, I am mixed. Am I next? Rod, I have a hard time figuring out some of what you're saying. Maybe you can make it a little more concise. Mike is actually Cecil. Oh, you're saying my voice when I did the Cecil. Cecil's very easy to do, I think. Okay, Mike is actually. How do you feel about Kane Mucho? Does it change the meaning? Kane Mucho. I'm not even going to look it up. Hong Kong used to be such a nice place. Well, you know what? 100 years ago, it was a crap hole. And then free market capitalism took strong foot. They blew up. And now they're starting to lose that, I think. They're starting to go, why can't we just have nice things? I think they're starting to go more socialist in some of their stuff. They always have to ruin it, right? Leftists don't want East Asian and Hindi immigrants. They vote Republican. I wish they all did, but they don't. It's annoying. You should get Cecil on your stream, man. Announce it on Twitter first. Guy is gold, but you have to loosen your hair. You're camera shy. Be the macho man you are. Coolest guy in comic skate. Shades, bro. Where's my shades? Oh, you want me to do the... Here. Somebody said I look like the guy from The Room, or what's that movie? What's that movie? The Disaster Artist. If I just lean back like this and I talk like this the whole time, I'd just be the disaster artist. Cecil, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just love everyone, Cecil? All right, I can't do that. I didn't catch the EVS stream, but Twitter is blowing up with whatever happened. Really? Maybe I'll have to bow out of here soon and check it out. Probably been doing this too long. I do have work to do, you know. Why do you guys keep me here all day long? I love ramen, and I'm not even in college. I bet you've never actually had good ramen because it is so hard to find. I live in San Diego, and there are a gaggle of ramen restaurants, and they're always freaking busy, but they all suck. I mean, for me, because I'm kind of a ramen snob, and there's literally like, okay, there's one place I haven't been to that must be good because they have handmade ramen every morning, and you have to get there and put your name on a computerized list to get in, and I never get there early enough. But there's, of all the other places, there's like, yeah. But nobody knows good ramen from bad. But there's one best place that I've been to, Santoku. If you're in San Diego, go to Santoku. If you want good ramen, Santoku, inside of Mitsuwa, off of Balboa Avenue, and it's like by the 163, that frontage road off the 163. Are you worried Red Rooster is going to suck up all the Indiegogo monies? Commentators haven't directly competed before. No. I'm rooting for Red Rooster. I'm a Red Rooster rooter. Red Rooster rooter. And I hope he makes gobsmacks of money. But I don't, you know, people can afford, they're both going to be going for a month. So if you can't afford a comic book in a month, then man, please go buy some food or something because you're clearly starving. Bless this mess. If one goes, they all go. Made me laugh out loud. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, everyone go over to Facebook and look up Bless This Mess comic. If you want some good laughs, it's all about my family and the horrific things my children do to me. So I literally am ready to buy every Comicsgate comic. Shipping is expensive, but what can you do? Marvel and DC are garbage these days. We're gonna put the good ones out, man. We're gonna put them all out, and we're gonna change this industry. Bubba Hubba, you lucky dude. Hubba, it's Hubba Bubba, not Bubba Hubba. But yeah, she's a keeper. And you know what? That's just the exterior package. She is the sweetest, nicest, best person I know, hands down. So I did win the lottery of life. A good percentage vote Republican, I should say. I should hope all of them would vote Republican. Hot AF, AM. Damn son. Damn lips, holy schneitz. Damn son, best waifu. Oh, nice. How much trouble you in now? Your wife's watching the stream and planning on killing you. Sell 8 on Indiegogo, 1K each. Yeah, she'd kill me. Although she'd take the money. We do need a new car and a new TV. My youngest just broke my new TV, and I can't buy a new one till I get paid. Did you know Hawaiians are not fat? My brother assured me there aren't any, no matter how big they look. We went from Puerto Rico with my brother to the Canaries in Canada and got along great. Yeah, I don't see, I think you're thinking Samoans and maybe Tongans. Tongans aren't quite as fat as Samoans. They're more muscular, that I've known personally. Love Bruce Lee, yes. Do you like sushi? I like salmon sushi. That's my favorite. If you like salmon sushi, try this. Next time you go to a sushi restaurant, get the sake, which is the raw salmon, or the cured salmon, and get ikura. It's the salmon egg roll. And if it's a good sushi place where the salmon is like butter, take the ikura, put it on top of the salmon when you put it in your mouth, it's like a party in your mouth, man. Those little freaking salty, slightly salty. If they're too salty, they're bad. You might as well be fishing with them. But yeah, that's the bomb. Oriental origins, mysterious. Okay, 5 kids. I only got 4. You the man, bro. Well, what are you waiting for? You got room for one more, right? Is that it? Have I caught up? 253. It's 301. Oh no, I didn't catch up. Darn it. This thing's just lagging on me. Scrolling up for more. I know I'm like answering every single one of these. Okay. Cecil impression is scary. The delay for me is huge. After 5 kids, she's thick. Yours is thick? Mine's not. My wife's freaking slamming now. Holy cow. Just read me slow. Like, are you the one banned me from BSers? No, I've never banned anyone from Rod, you Mongoloid. I'm a Mongoloid, proud Mongoloid. Actually, I'm half Caucasoid. I'm a manga Caucasoid. You're tripping up Mike Rod. Kumar, I'm not tripping him up. He's an adult, and I oppose Democrat segregationist politics. Not my fault. The character limit is too high. It's the guy who made Doom. Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, that's somebody said I looked like him in the stream yesterday. Mini Gene Simmons or Tommy Wiseau. I don't have the tongue for Gene Simmons, and I'm not sticking it out to prove it. You look like wind in his hair. Wind in his hair. You mean from Last of the Mohicans, right? That is funny because, okay, I met my wife at California State Summer School for the Arts in 1988. And between then and when I moved down to San Diego in 1993, Last of the Mohicans came out, and she went and saw it, and she's like, oh, that reminds me of Mike. But it was that guy, yeah. Fascist, yes. Commies say fascists are right, but they are left. Yes, they are right. They are left. They're to the right of Stalin, but the right wingers in World War II was us. So how could you have? It's not. Anyways, do you do commissions? You get that often, I bet. Yes, I do commissions. Message me on Twitter. I can get you my price list. And I'm open right now because all I'm doing is Lonestar and stuff, and I haven't started the Indiegogo. So yes, I will take any commissions you guys got. And if you guys want to go to my website, micahsmellerart.com, I have a store there where I have my commissions on the store, like my commission price list. And I have like 200 different art prints there. If you order them, I will sign them and I will ship them, and you will have my beautiful art hanging on your wall within a week if you're game for that. And please do, because I could really use some money right now. Yes, put out your product in big volume and take your time. That is foundation. That's how I feel about pho joints in my area. Yeah, I love pho, but bad pho is like, you ever gotten that pho that's like, you know how you can go to the Korean or the Vietnamese market or the Asian market, whatever it is, and buy like the prepackaged pho base? I hate it when I go to a freaking pho restaurant and I get the soup and I taste it, and I'm like, dude, you're freaking using prepackaged pho base. You're a restaurant. Take the 24 hours it takes to make the base and freaking do it right. Jeez Louise. There are no ramen places here in Puerto Rico. I feel left out. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for you. Sad I missed the previous 3 hours. Glad to have something to listen to at work now, though. You all have a good one. You too, Zach. Like they do in Japan. I love microwave ramen. Yeah, they make it fresh in Japan. I love microwave ramen. Okay, you have to leave my chat because you said you love microwave ramen. No, I'm just kidding. I like instant ramen too, but it's really not good for you. That stuff just doesn't digest. There are a lot of Republicans, Democrats walking away The market will support capitalism, comics creators. Capitalism, comics creators. We're the CCC. My brother just said, never call a Samoan fat. I thought you'd get the joke. Are you saying I'm fat? Is that the joke? Anyways, Samoans are well, they're not all fat, but I mean, under the fat is a whole hell of a lot of muscle. I was in a fight once with my buddy Andy. We called him Bubba, and this guy, he was probably as tall as maybe 6'5", 6'6", and just he's a tree trunk, right? I mean, he's fat, but a lot. He's like the kingpin. Most of that, what looks like fat, is muscle. So we're in. I wasn't fighting because at the time I was a young pacifist. Sorry. I changed. I tell you, I changed. But so we got in this freaking bouncer brawl, and I look up and I see Bubba, and he's like King Kong, and he's got bouncers like trying to grab him, and he's like swinging like it seemed like slow motion, and just bouncers flying off of his horse. It was like out of a freaking animation or something. It was so fun. I'm hearing the sushi advice. Now the delay is pretty long. LOL. I'll keep it in mind. We do have good sushi places. Good. Now you look like Danny Trejo without the pock marks. Danny Trejo? Oh, I can't even do his voice. Danny Trejo. I can't do his voice. How much per paneled page? Can I buy a few pages a month if the price? I can buy a few pages a month if the price is right. What do you want to get? I've got most of my Injustice pages because I chose not to sell my original art anymore a few years ago. But now I'm broken. I need the money. So if you have stuff you want, you can look through all my old Injustice books. As far as the Lonestar stuff, I think I'm going to probably maybe make that available on the Indiegogo. Make the pie bigger. Don't think like that about who buys what. Yeah, we're gonna make this pie huge every day. I mean, dude, look at Ethan's page. It's gone from 47 a couple months ago to 67 now. Diversity in Comics was at like 60. Both of these guys have gone up like 20,000 viewers just in the past couple months. So the pie's getting bigger with every passing day. So hey, yeah. I was thinking Dances with Wolves, but okay, I can see it. Oh, okay, I see. No, you're not fat. You're being sensitive. It was a joke. I was actually kidding too, so I'm not sensitive at all. I know I have an Asia on the round face. Salmon and tuna, best fish. I'm caught up. You know what? I've been having a great time and stuff, but I do have to get stuff done. So I'm going to bow out because I am caught up. I thank everyone for being here. I hope you come back. DNC also reviews. Ethan also has Star Wars. So I'll have sushi. How's that? Sushi and ramen. Well, welcome to Ramen Talk with Mike Miller. Today we're going to be discussing chashu pork. Yes or no? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do another how to draw video today, maybe tomorrow. Today's kind of gotten away from me, so yeah. Thank you. God bless. Godspeed, and be good to one another. I love you.